Why does God allow you to love the wrong person first? It's a question whispered through tears and carried quietly by hearts that have been broken more times than they admit. God, why would you let me love someone who wasn't meant for me? The answer isn't simple, because the path to purpose rarely is. Sometimes it takes a broken heart to awaken the deeper parts of the soul, parts you didn't even know existed until something inside you shattered. You were never meant to love aimlessly or cling to someone just so you wouldn't feel alone. Yet in his mysterious, patient wisdom, God sometimes allows your heart to attach to someone who was never meant to stay, not to punish you or discourage you, but to prepare you. There are certain lessons that only pain can teach. There are revelations that only rise out of heartbreak. There is clarity that only comes after your emotions have been stretched and forced to heal. The confusion, the ache, the nights spent wondering why it happened, and none of it is wasted. God never wastes a wound. Heartbreak becomes holy ground when brought to him. Loss becomes a doorway. Sorrow becomes soil where something sacred begins to grow. In those quiet moments when everything you wanted slips away, God starts whispering truths you couldn't a year before. When you look back at the person you once prayed for, the one you begged God to keep, you begin to see what you couldn't see before. Sometimes the greatest act of mercy is an unanswered prayer. You saw potential while they saw convenience. You saw a covenant while they saw comfort. You gave your heart while they gave only what was left. But God saw a lesson. He saw a turning point. He saw who you could become if only you let go. So he allowed the attachment long enough for you to learn what love is not, so that you'd recognize what love truly is. Deuteronomy 8:2 says, God leads us through the wilderness to reveal what's in our hearts. And sometimes that wilderness is a relationship. It's a season that strips away illusions and exposes insecurities. In that wilderness, you saw yourself clearly, and that painful clarity became the beginning of surrender. You needed to experience a love that was conditional, unstable, and selfish, so you would stop chasing emotional highs and start craving God's truth. The wrong person has a way of exposing your wounds and stirring your need for validation. You learn that desperation can imitate love, but it's not love. It's fear in disguise. The enemy knows how to use loneliness as bait, which is why he often sends a counterfeit before God sends the real thing. Counterfeit love feels intense, but leaves you anxious. It feels urgent, but brings no peace. It feels destined, but creates confusion. And yet God allows it, not to harm you, but to awaken you. Romans 8:28 doesn't promise things will feel good. It promises they will work for your good. The wrong person shattered your illusions, left you with questions, and those questions led you back to God. You cried out, Lord, why did you let me love someone like that? And heaven whispered, because you needed to see who you are without me. You made them your hope, your home, your emotional lifeline. And when they walked away, God remained. That was the lesson. Even when the person you cherished leaves, you are not abandoned. Isaiah 43:2 says, God is with you through the waters. And you didn't drown, you were delivered. You weren't destroyed, you were rebuilt. You began to see your worth through God's eyes instead of theirs. God allowed you to love the wrong person so your soul would never again settle for imitation. Real love, the kind God designs, isn't built on thrill or timing. It's built on character, sacrifice, truth, and spiritual foundation. After the wrong kind of love, you begin craving peace instead of chaos, partnership instead of performance, prayer instead of pressure. The right love doesn't pull you away from God, it pushes you closer to Him. God often becomes most real after heartbreak. He allowed the wrong person so you'd stop idolizing connection and start valuing covenant. So you'd stop asking, do they love me? And start asking, do they love God? Because someone who doesn't know God cannot love you in the way your soul needs. Scripture warns us not to be unequally yoked, but sometimes we don't understand it until after we've felt the pain. Even then, God mercifully lets the wrong person leave. Not to break you, but to bless you, so you walk into your next season healed, not starving. A starving heart settles. A healed heart sees clearly. Loving the wrong person wasn't a waste. It revealed your depth, your capacity, your longing for something eternal, and God will use that. So when you ask, why did you let me love someone who couldn't stay? Remember that sometimes God lets your heart break so it won't bow to anything less than Him. That isn't punishment. It's protection and preparation. One day the right person will come, and you'll feel the difference immediately. They won't pull you from God, but push you closer. They won't confuse your worth, but confirm it. They won't love only your appearance, but also your spirit. The right love doesn't compete with God's presence. It reflects it. When that love arrives, everything will make sense. The heartbreak, the delay, the unanswered prayer. You'll realize it wasn't rejection, but redirection. Not loss, but protection. Not the end, but the beginning of becoming whole. So take a breath and thank God, not only for what He gave, but for what He took away. His no was the doorway to your healing. The wrong person didn't ruin your story, they rerouted it. As you heal, don't rush the next chapter. Let God write it. His timing will make everything clear. And when the love He has for you finally comes, you'll recognize it not because it feels perfect, but because it brings peace.